I was standing at the sink, hands in cold water, when my mother said my name like a question she already knew the answer to. That was the moment. The air tightened. The house went quiet in that way it does right before something breaks. I didn't turn around. I watched the gravy skin over and thought, so this is how they do it. Thanksgiving was supposed to be safe, neutral ground, one table, one day where nobody wanted anything from me. I was wrong. This house, my house, still smelled like fresh paint and lemon cleaner because I took care of it. I paid the mortgage. I fixed the roof. I signed the papers alone after my divorce when everyone told me to sell, to downsize, to make myself smaller. I didn't. I stayed. I rebuilt. They congratulated me then. They admired my resilience. They watched closely. My brother has always been the kind of man people protect from consequences, the kind who fails loudly and gets cushioned every time he falls. When we were kids, I learned early that fairness was a word, not a rule. When we were adults, I learned something worse. Entitlement ages badly. The idea didn't start with him. It never does. It started as concern, soft voices, hypotheticals. What if something happened to you? Wouldn't it be simpler if the house stayed in the family? I smiled. I nodded. I kept pouring wine. Then I noticed the shift. Conversation stopping when I walked in, my mother's purse never leaving her side, my brother suddenly interested in property taxes, in estate stuff, in whether my divorce settlement had been finalized cleanly. Patterns form before accusations do. The proof came quietly, a misplaced folder on the desk in my study, my name typed wrong on a draft deed, a notary date circled in red for the Friday after Thanksgiving. They weren't asking, they were planning. I felt the hit in my chest, sharp and brief, like the body recognizing danger before the mind catches up. I didn't scream, I didn't confront. I closed the folder and put it back exactly where it had been. That night, I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling fan. Every betrayal I'd swallowed lined up neatly, suddenly useful. Anger is messy. Patience is surgical. So I planned. First, I called my lawyer, not with panic, with curiosity. I asked questions like I was thinking about the future. I learned how quickly ownership could change and how easily intent could be exposed when people got sloppy. Then I locked everything down. New documents, new signatures, a trust they didn't know about, contingencies that only activated if someone tried to act on my behalf without permission. Next, I set the stage. I hosted Thanksgiving. Big table, real silver, the good wine. I let them believe it was working, that I was tired, distracted, grateful for family help. I watched my brother relax into his chair like a man already measuring rooms. Halfway through dessert, my mother brought it up, gently, like a favor. I let her talk, I let her explain how this would be easier, how my brother would take care of things, how they'd already spoken to someone who could handle the paperwork. I waited until she finished. Then I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were copies, the draft deed, the emails, the notary appointment, and, on top, a letter from my lawyer outlining exactly how fraud worked when families thought love made them immune. No yelling, no theatrics, just silence. My brother went pale first. My mother reached for the papers like she could rearrange them into a different truth. I told them I wasn't angry. That surprised them more than anything. I told them I was thankful, for clarity, for finally knowing the cost of keeping peace. Then I told them the house was no longer a topic of discussion, ever. That any further attempt to interfere would trigger actions they didn't have the leverage to survive. I stood up. I cleared my plate. I wished them a happy Thanksgiving. They left early. Now the house is quiet again, the kind of quiet that feels earned. I walk through rooms they thought they could take from me and feel something better than revenge, relief. They wanted my signature. I gave them consequences, and this year, that's what I'm thankful for.